Welcome back to your favorite unscripted retrospective series. Today we're going to be looking at WWE 2K22 returning from a 2-year gap where they essentially ruined the series with the buggy and terrible release of WWE 2K20, but were they able to bring the fan base back with a quality product in 2K22? Let's find out. This is WWE 2K20, and it definitely will look very similar to what you have usually been playing in the last couple of years. I can't remember how to grapple. Somebody please help. I think it's the A button. Oh, it's not the A button. Oh god, how do you grapple? Help. So this is the Royal Rumble Arena. This is the Royal Rumble where I think Edge came back and won. This is all of these arenas are based off of the 2020 or 20, yeah, the 2020 COVID, the 2021 COVID Royal Rumble. And the main gameplay difference here obviously is the camera angle. Obviously the camera angle is way closer than it was in 2K20, changing up the presentation in a major way. Combat system is a little bit different, where 2K20 and before had a huge emphasis on grappling. In this game, I don't even know how to grapple. Like, legitimately, what's the button to grapple? I can't remember. Yeah, so you have your B button. Oh, it's the B button. Okay, so the B button to grab, and then you've got your X and A button, which is going to be your light and heavy strikes. And you can mix those attacks up to do different types of combo attacks. So if you do X, X, and then A, you're going to do something. And then if you were to do, like, I don't know, X, A, X, you might have another combo. Basically, you can mix up the different buttons here. Yeah, so XAA will then do this attack here. So that you can mix up the combos, you can do different attacks. And I don't actually hate this system. I know a lot of people really don't like it, and that's perfectly fine. If you press the B button, you'll do a grapple state, and then from the grapple state, you can then trigger either a heavy grapple with a heavy attack with A, or you can do a light attack, which is probably just going to be like a strike or something. But essentially, yeah, you still got your main grapples on the B button, but now you also have access to the strikes as well to vary up some of the combo positions. But evidently, the difference here between 2K20 and 22 is the gameplay is massively sped up. There's a whole different control system that is completely new to this series, to this game anyway, and there's a whole new grapple system as well. But the AI is still dumb. If you look on the HUD on the bottom there, you have your normal health bar, obviously, but you also have the signature bars, which is the 3 little bars there. I think that's your signature. It fills up to 3 bars. And then you can do your signature, and in this case, I now have a finisher, but I don't know how to call. I thought I could do a corner finisher. I guess not. I'm gonna have to do a running finisher here. Oh, never mind. I thought it was gonna be a spear, but hey, I failed. Kyle O'Reilly here reversed that spear attempt, or that jackhammer attempt. He didn't get a full bar off of that, but pretty close to it. And you'll see that I have now lost the vast majority of my bar. Saying that though, Kyle went for a signature there and I reversed it with the Y button. So the Y button is your reversal bar in this game. It is a timed reversal as well, so you can't just go mashing it. You have to press the button at the right time to reverse. You get access to there used to be a thing called major reversals, and I think it is actually still in the game, where you can, depending on when you trigger the reversal, you will be able to put a debuff on your opponent, so they won't be able to block. You won't be able to block any of your attacks or anything. But usually, so if you have you can do like a base reversal, which will kind of reverse or block your first attack there, but then you also have the ability, usually as a second part of the move, you can do like a second major reversal. And then you'll be able to kind of put your debuff on your opponent from there. From here, though, we're going to do a jackhammer and eliminate or knock out Kyle O'Reilly for the 3 count. I don't see him getting up. That's going to be a 3 count. And that is essentially the real basics of WWE 2K22 in a nutshell, because this match is so much more fast-paced. The roster's pretty good as well. We'll very briefly talk about the roster because it is absolutely massive. and it encompasses basically 2 years of WWE. So going through the menu system here, we have the play option, there's the showcase option, there is the universe option, there is my rise, my faction, and my GM. So now we have fully incorporated ourselves into the 2K ecosystem, okay? So we are now part of the 2K experience, essentially. So 2K, if you didn't know, NBA 2K has like my career, my park, or it's called something else now, but it's these things that this is the naming convention that 2K uses. So here, play is your regular exhibition. You can choose different match types. You have the option to do really any match type that you can really think of. There's not many restrictions on what you can do. Showcase mode features a look back at Rey Mysterio and much of his career, including the historic match with Eddie Guerrero at WrestleMania 21, or his match with Eddie Guerrero at Halloween Havoc, or I don't even know, there's other matches, but I'm really trying to think here. It culminates ultimately in the debut match of Dominic Mysterio, which was a COVID match. It was in the Thunderdome, but it was Dominic Mysterio teaming with Rey in his first match ever against Seth Rollins and Blake Murphy? No, Buddy Murphy. Why am I forgetting people's names now? And we also have Universe Mode. Universe Mode, for the most part, is pretty untouched. I'm actually quite disappointed by the lack of features that they added in this year, but I realized they had other things to worry about, such as the game just functionally working. My GM makes its return for the first time since like 2008, I think. So after what, like a 4 or 5 year gap, General Manager Mode returns. It's my GM, and it's essentially the same that we have now, with just, you know, essentially less features because it's the first version of it. I didn't mind this GM mode, but ultimately I didn't like it as much as the older versions of General Manager Mode. I preferred the more kind of simulation, authentic style General Manager modes as opposed to the arcadey My GM style. My GM perfectly fine for multiplayer. It's perfectly fine for kind of that arcade I don't say a simulation, but the arcade experience, but it doesn't really work for me, brother. The first version of my faction, the servers are no longer online, so we can't even look at this even if we wanted to, but I do remember being interested in my faction when it first came out. It's the same as what it is now. It never changes. And then there is, of course, My Rise as well, which is, I believe, a two-pronged approach to this year. I think there's 2 storylines you can pick from. I believe there is a... Is this the game that has Unleashed, or no, that's not this one. So yeah, you can choose either the men's division or the women's division, and the story does change based on that as well. So it has a whole storyline. It has BCW and all the usual 2K bullshit that people don't typically like, but hey, at least it has a story mode, which is more than some other wrestling games can say. You have a full creation suite here of pretty much everything that is still in the game now. So again, we're only a couple years past this time. This is being recorded in 2025, so we're talking about 2K25, 2K26 on the horizon. Not much has actually changed from 2K22 to 2K25. There was also an online mode. The online mode doesn't work anymore, and then you've got your options menu, which again just looks exactly the same as the current 2K25 version of the game. Having a very quick look at the roster here, it is absolutely massive. We'll kind of, I'll just jump down the menu here. You can just kind of see some of the people who are in the game. A lot of them are very young as well, which is also very cool. So you have essentially, you have a Charlotte Flair, who is admittedly the women's champion. There's Chad Gable here, who's just off, he's an American Alpha. Now has short hair. There's Cesaro in there. We have Edge with the long hair again, returning and winning. Did he win that Rumble? I can't remember. He's in it for sure. I think he did win it. I'm not sure. There's Dominik Dijakovic, which obviously would then be shortened to Dijak. There is Demon Finn Balor. There's Dolph Ziggler. There's a whole bunch of people, man. Like, we played Goldberg there. Eric Bischoff appears in this game. There's Happy Corbin as a blast from the past. There's Ilya Dragunov. Pre-neck tattoo. There is Io Shirai. There's an early version of Shirai. There's Swerve, a very early version of Swerve there from the NXT North American Champion. Early version of LA Knight. He'll be from NXT. There's Keith Lee. There's Kaylee Ray. There's Lindsay Dorado. There's Massey. This is the first game to have Logan Paul. There's Mustafa Ali, MVP. It's a great roster, I have to admit. It's very of the time as well. We have Sami Zayn, who is, I believe, part of the conspiracy theory thing. I think that was his whole gimmick at this time, being the conspiracist. They may or may not have updated his entrance in this game as well, which is also very cool. We have Austin. Obviously, Austin appears in every single game. Slapjack. I mean, who could forget Slapjack? Wow. 4 versions of The Undertaker. We got base Undertaker, Undertaker 02, 1995 with the really cool mask, the Phantom of the Opera mask, and then Undertaker 1998 with the Ministry of Darkness, and then we've got WrestleMania 36, the Boneyard match, which would, it's crazy to think that that would end up being Undertaker's last match. There's Vader, rest in peace. We have the first edition of Walter being added to the game. He's the NXT, well, it says here NXT United Kingdom champion. This before even the WWE UK championship was even a thing. It was just NXT UK. Pretty good roster for the most part. In fact, actually, there's a tag there for downloaded superstars. So these are all the people that were involved in the DLC as well. So this is part of the season pass, right? So you have A-Kid, who I believe is now Axiom. We also have like the Boogeyman, British Bulldog, and Eric Bischoff, Hogan. I mean, there's an NWO theme to this one, right? So Kevin Nash. LA Knight was DLC, I did not know that. Logan Paul. Of course, there was Machine Gun Kelly, boo him. There was Mr. T, Omos. Boogs, man. Boogs deserved so much more than what he got. He was insane. We got Rikishi, Rob Van Dam appearing as well. Rob Van Dam's one of my favorite guys to play as. It was very cool that he was able to get into here. Saray, she's not in WWE anymore. Don't think so anyway. We got Ronda Rousey here as well. Very, very cool that she made it into the game via DLC. And then you've got Scott Hall and 6. Umaga appearing as DLC, that's very cool as well. Also, those Undertakers were DLC. And then, yeah. And then, wow, Yokozuna being DLC, that is really weird to think about considering that Yokozuna is in so many games. All right, let's throw in a 6-man Hell in a Cell match here. You can't actually do 8-man, so 8-man's not a thing yet, and I suppose it makes sense considering this is actually still a PS4 game. We haven't transitioned yet to like PS5. I don't know if that plays an impact here, but yeah, you can't do 8-man Hell in a Cells yet. So in this match, we have just completely randomized the selection here. So we have Roddy Piper, who doesn't look very good. I don't think Piper looks very good. Oh man, Piper getting slammed there by MVP. So we got MVP in the corner there as well, who's very much in the hurt business by this point. We have Dolph Ziggler there, who's kind of winding down his WWE career, I think. He's slowing down here. He's going to leave soon to go to TNA anyway, so he's not around for too much longer. We also have Ilya Dragunov there. This is his first game. He was very firmly in NXT, I believe, at this point, but he is dominating in this Hell in a Cell with that chair. Just rolling outside of the ring there on the right as well is one half of Balls. What are their names? I can't remember. Oney Lorcan. At this time, he was tag teaming with Danny Burch, and that was a really popular tag team in NXT as well. I didn't realize that Hell in a Cell matches had the roll-up mechanic. It's actually crazy. I just saw Piper going for the ropes there, so I'm just surprised that that is in Hell in a Cell matches. It probably is in the Hell in a Cell matches now, and I've just completely forgotten. Yeah, 2K22, everyone. I think while this match is going on, I'm going to take the opportunity to just rant, right? Unless Ilya Dragunov gets pinned right now, in which case my rant will be very short. Ultimately, I think that WWE 2K22 is a great game. I think that they made really good improvements to the game, and they fundamentally fixed all the problems from 2K20. They made the control system a lot more reasonable to use. Like, some of the changes that they made in 2K20 in terms of like you have to press the X and A button at the same time to do finishers and stuff, like that's just no good. Nobody wants to do that. But being able to do signatures by holding the right trigger and pressing X or pressing A is much better. And I've always believed that they changed the control system in 2K20 to just be a change for the sake of change. They wanted to differentiate themselves from the Ukes games, but I just don't think it was valuable. And I think by them changing the control system in 2K22 proves that in a major way. Graphically as well, like 2K22 onwards, the games are really solid. Like they look so much better. 2K20 does not look good by any metric, and I realize we're talking about a game that came out in like 2019 or whatever, but the gap here between 2019 and 2022 is unreal. Like, the lighting is so much better, the character models look so much more defined, the game overall just runs much more stably, like it doesn't crash all the time. Yes, the AI is pretty dumb. Everyone outside the ring right now is just throwing each other into random bits and they're all just fighting amongst each other. It's all very glitchy, and yes, it's a bit silly. But I really think that 2K22 brought back a lot of the fun from these games. I think that there's definitely merit in the way that these games play. And I really think that they're on to something here. I mean, 2K22 ended up being a really big success for them, and they needed it to be because 2K20 almost tanked the whole series. There were rumors going about that 2K20 was like so bad that WWE wanted to pull the license from 2K and Visual Concepts. I don't know if there's any actual truth to that or not, but regardless, like 2K22 by all metrics is pretty much a success. They were able to rebuild the game pretty successfully in the 2-year gap that they had, or I guess the 1-year gap that they had. And although they didn't add in like a whole ton of features, they were able to at least get my GM up and running. They were able to implement my faction, which obviously now is like their biggest source of revenue. At the time, as crazy as it sounds, they were even able to resolve a lot of the bugs and crashes that were involved with things like Creation Suite, like create an arena, create a superstar. That shit used to crash all the time, and even now it still crashes. But back in 2K22, because they actually put the time in and they were able to spend some time actually developing a lot of the kind of like bug fixes and stuff, they were actually able to genuinely fix a lot of the problems that the game had. One good thing as well that these games all have, and it's even still in the game now, is even if you are watching a match, like we are watching this match for the AI, we can actually control our assignment. We can pause the game and we can take control of any of these superstars at any time. So if the AI is being really stupid like it is now, we can actually go in and we can adjust what we want here. So if I wanted to get people back in the ring, I could probably just do that. I could probably just go into the assignment, put myself in the match, and then we'll get people back in the ring. But saying that, Ilya Dragunov and MVP have managed to break out of the cage and they are now climbing the cage. It's so funny, in one of my earliest videos, I think it was the 2K tournament, which we will be doing next year. I don't know when we'll be doing it, but it's pretty early on. I think it ended with like Sheamus and someone else, and it was a Hell in a Cell match as one of the finales, if not the finale. And ultimately what ended up happening was they broke out of the cage, the Hell in a Cell rather, they broke out of that and they went up top and they ended up fighting on top of the cage. And I was like, I have never seen the AI do this. But here we are in 2K22. Wow, that was... I did see that super kick happen, but I didn't think it would actually end the match. Well, either way, I was just going to say that we don't normally see the AI go to the top of the cage, but I'm constantly proven wrong by the fact that these Hell in a Cell matches get out of the cage. But congratulations to Dolph Ziggler, congratulations for getting that super kick, for getting that win, and proving that 2K22 is actually a really fun game. And that's going to be us for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing. Obviously, it helps to push the channel to as many people as possible. If you are watching on mobile and you enjoy 2K22 as much as I do, then consider hyping the video as well, because that helps put us onto a leaderboard and pushes us to a whole new subset of people so more people can watch the video and join our wonderful community that we have. With that being said, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great week. I'll be back next week for 2K23, but for now, thanks for watching. Bye for now.